yeah, like, so you're basically saying if someone come to me and said,
I want to start
Dickie,
painting.
I want to start painting. What do I do? Where do I go? What do I use? How do I do it?
Exactly.
Airbrush, Hero Quest, Old World was a disaster for pre-order, and I wasted £70 on 4 dog shit board games. That's been my January
That's
so
the
far.
highlights.
Yeah. And I've got a gammy eye. That's probably the highlight of the month so far. Well, I came to you on a Saturday morning and went, Darren, I've lost my memory, I've got amnesia. How do I paint? What do I need?
I'd say, no, you don't need to do Warhammer.
Don't do that.
I know.
Get out while you still can. Well, welcome, guys. How are we all doing? Welcome to another episode of the Sprue Goons podcast with me, Dickie, and my lovely co-host, the bearded brush wonder, that is Darren. How you doing?
That's not what you said it was going to be.
Changed that at the last minute, didn't I? How you been?
True to form.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, been all right. Yeah. I think this is going to be an interesting intro.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to be all over the place. Disclaimer, I'll say it now and get it out of the way. I've started the new year in bad form. I've got a gammy eye. It's kind of, I don't know what's happened. I went to the specialist today and he said, basically, I've got popped blood vessels in my eye, but it makes me look like something out of a horror movie. So
you've been straining too much.
Yeah, well, you know, not enough fibre in my diet. But yeah, that's a good start. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Yeah. Why do people drop off?
Yeah,
after
I don't know.
30 seconds?
I don't know. No followers, but you know. How's it with you, Darren? All right, all good?
Yeah, all good. I've been working on something that
hang on.
I can't disclose.
Oh.
So, but yeah, it's basically meant that I've barely got any painting done, to be honest. I think, I'm almost want to say I haven't really done any painting since the last podcast.
I think this is going to be poor showing for both of us this time because I've done none. I've done a little bit, but I don't know if you can see in the background or audio listeners behind us, there is a new little airbrush compressor. I've treated myself to an airbrush, brought it round to show Darren. So once we've wrapped filming this, we're going to crack out the airbrush and show Darren how it works. Not that I'm any kind of expert. I've never used one before, but this week I've been on and off trying it in between going to the doctors, trying to get my eye sorted and things. Yeah, it's just been a bit of an unproductive week, really. I think we need to have a bit of a good way to start the year. What was our last part? Focus 2024. What have you done? Nothing. Yeah. Bought an airbrush. But yeah, no, it's I'm hoping, again, the time recorded, I'm hoping that next week hopefully this hobby lull will be kind of sorted, because I'm a bit all over the place at the moment.
And for me, I think I feel like I have focused, but not on painting.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, but I've really knuckled down and tried to get this project done, but it has meant that I literally haven't painted anything really.
To be honest, I think I said to you the other day though, I feel typical, but the focus of last episode was the point, and I feel like I've completely lost focus at the beginning of the year. I had so many goals. I'm going to get this, I'm going to do that, and all of them at the moment, I'm like, I just can't really be bothered to do them. So I'm kind of almost, in a way, I'm kind of embracing it. I'm like, okay, I'll just wait until that kind of sparking of enthusiasm comes. But until it does, I'm just kind of playing around with the airbrush, trying to figure out how to use it. But that's been interesting. Watched loads of YouTube videos and all that, but it's just trying to get used to the airbrush, the pressure on the compressor, the right position of the needle on the airbrush, getting the distances right. And Vader looked a bit sorry for himself when I first had to go. So I'll give the airbrush a go on Darth Vader, do a bit of OSL on his lightsaber. That's what the airbrush is for, OSL. And he was all red, then he was all blue, then he was all black. I was like, I'm just going to step away here because I'm just getting this a bit wrong. But last time I had to go, which was yesterday morning, and I felt a lot better. I felt, hang on, I'm starting to click a bit now. You have to just use the pressure, up close, lower the pressure, further away, increase the pressure. So it's all, I know it all sounds pretty obvious. I suppose all the airbrushes out there are probably sitting there laughing at me, oh, you crap. But I just trying to
it's like with any new hobby tool, isn't it? I remember that when I got a graphics tablet for illustration, and I was illustrating for ages, for years, just with the keyboard shortcuts and mouse and that kind of thing. on Adobe Illustrator, and yeah, I remember getting the graphics tablet for Christmas and being like, oh yeah, this is really good, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is dog shit,
Yeah.
and in about a month I couldn't live without it.
Yeah.
It is that curve of you need to persist
Mm.
and kind of get through it, because once you learn a new tool and you're proficient with it,
Yeah.
it is another tool.
That's kind of what I think we've discussed it, because I think Darren's probably going to bite the bullet and get one. But even if we were saying, if we just use it for basing and zenithaling and things
Yeah.
like that, even then it's worth its money.
Mm.
You know, no more rattle cans, no more trying to do zenithal with two rattle. You know, it'd be so much easier for, you know, and OSLs, things like that. If you've got some lights on a piece of scenery, you want to give them a little bit of a
OSLs, it's exciting for, yeah, definitely. Like when I think of it's quite rewarding doing it with the brush, but yeah, for someone who doesn't have a lot of time to paint, you know,
yeah,
oh, I
yeah.
spent 2 hours and you know it looks slightly brighter, like where the torch is. You know, it's
Imagine doing your Haskell hexbane
yeah,
with that now, with the torch.
that would be sexy.
But yeah, it's, like I said, it's just a tool. I don't think it'll ever replace paint like brushes for me. Because I know some painters use airbrush for a lot of things and just use the paintbrush for the last few bits. I don't think it would ever replace paint. Like a bit like you said, it's quite nice to use. You know, I think it's quite nice just to use a paintbrush.
Yeah.
But it's a tool. It's a good thing. I hate that you get these people like, oh, if you use an airbrush, you're not a real painter. I don't believe that at all. It's a tool. It's a bit like with 3D printing. It's just a tool that people use to get the models they want.
Yeah.
It's almost the same kind of thing. So, yeah, watch this space. It'll probably be on eBay next week when I've had enough of it. But we've got Hero Quest. That's a new thing. We bit the bullet, and Darren found it at a stupidly good deal. So we thought, you know what? Why not?
It was good. It was. We saw it on Black Friday.
Yes.
And I remember sending it to you, and I think it was like £47 or something, and I was like, we should get this, and we didn't because
other things.
Spent about 300 quid on other stuff, Star Wars Legion, but and yeah, we didn't necessarily regret it, but I think we came out the back of Christmas and thought,
yeah, why didn't we get that?
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. So yeah, I just googled, I wonder how cheap I can get it, and pretty much found it for the same price.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to get it.
Yeah, and I've heard, you know, some people say it's not great, but it's just a good classic dungeon crawler. But we're almost going into it with the kind of outlook that we're not going to paint it. It's a gaming piece, so the pieces are gaming pieces. You know, again, we always end up saying this: fall in love with the game and want to paint it all. But we haven't even looked at it yet, but we'll crack that open soon and have a look through and see what we think of that.
I think we were saying, what was it, yesterday or today, about how important it is to kind of look at a game and like decide what your aim is. So on that one, the pressure just feels completely off because we've got no intention to paint it today. But if you go in and you're straight away, you're thinking, oh, I've got to paint this whole thing. It affects it massively if you're then not going to play the game straight away. Yeah. Even if you are going to play the game straight away, I think it kind of almost not necessarily takes the fun out of it. If you're very good at painting 90 models really quickly, then fine. But I think sometimes you forget why you've got the game.
Yes.
Have a really good game with it, and if you really enjoy it, paint your favourite models and really, fall in love with it and paint it. And it will look brilliant fully painted. But it doesn't need to sap your kind of enjoyment. No. Contrary to what we've said before about playing with unpainted models.
But I think it's setting that expectation. Like you said, if you go in and thinking, we're not going to paint this, we might paint one or two characters, but we have no intention of painting it. It's about the game. Then that's different to going in and going, right, like say we bought, for instance... classic, I suppose everyone's done it, but we bought Cursed City.
Yeah.
We went in with that thinking we're going to paint this all. This is going to look stunning when we've painted it all. I think I've painted half of one model and it's sat in my garage. Apparently the game's crap as well. So
yeah, but it always comes back for me to how often did we play it?
Once.
Yeah.
What was it? Once.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
I think we got a lot of rules wrong.
And weirdly, we haven't painted it.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a massive correlation between, and what have we painted a lot of? Star Wars Legion. And how many games have we had?
Oh god,
Loads.
loads. I couldn't
So
even count.
I think it's just that.
Mm.
But it is kind of chicken and egg,
Yeah.
because it's so, which is why I've been saying recently to Dickie that we should, our process should be, say for example you want to get Dreadfleet off eBay, you should get it or not, but if you should get it, you should build it, you should play it, and then if you like it, paint it, or just paint what you want to paint.
Or if gaming is your interest, if you just buy to paint and collect, then just
then that's not.
Yeah, ignore what we're saying.
Yeah, you haven't got the problem we've got.
No.
This is kind of just our.
Well, it's like I've always said, I always have a problem with buying things that I don't have a use for. And that sounds stupid, but if I buy an army and I don't think I'm going to play the game, I don't want to have the army.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't matter, but yeah. Trying to think what else we've been up to. Not a lot. I've done more spending than painting. I bought 2 more Final Girls.
Yeah.
After Christmas,
those,
I got the Not Alien and Not the Thing box sets.
Nice.
I haven't even had a chance to open them yet. I want to sit down and have a game with them, but I haven't even had a chance to do that. I bought a game I had a couple of years ago, which I loved playing. Like, I played it with my kids, and I know my wife enjoys it, and a couple of other friends that we've played it with enjoyed it. Was Stuffed Fables.
Yeah.
It's basically it's a dungeon crawler, but it's like in a storybook, and you play as this little girl's toys that come to, I think, Toy Story, but they go under the bed and fight these monsters. A bit like a darker story.
Yeah, a bit darker.
Than Toy Story, but that kind of premise, they come to life. I think it's not primarily aimed at children because adults can play it, but it's got that kind of Toy Story thing. It's quite a good game. Like I said, it's very good for like people that aren't massively into.
Yeah, it kind of straddles that.
Yeah, kids and people that aren't really gamers and.
Like a sort of like a Disney Lorcana for Magic players.
Yes, that's a really good that's a really good comparison. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's like the Disney Lorcana of dungeon crawlers.
Yeah.
And you never played it, did you? You never because when I had it before,
played it. No.
And I know a few times you said you'd like to have a go. So
yeah, it's cool.
I haven't even taken the cellophane off it yet. It's still in the cupboard, but it's kind of one of those. Put it there, a bit like we were saying about the old world last time. In that. Get it, put it in the cupboard. If in 3 months you think, you know what, I fancy cracking that open, then I will. If I don't, then it'll sit in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Speaking of the old world, what a segue. Hey, look at that. It's almost like I planned it.
Smooth.
I didn't, but it would have been smooth if I hadn't pointed it out. But the old world's released as a time of recording. When I say release, sorry, it's gone up for pre-order. And I can't remember what our predictions were last time. But they basically come out not far more expensive. They came out more expensive than I was thinking they were going to be. I think we said 125.
I think you said 125, and
one's 155, which is the Bretonians, and one is 175 for the Tomb Kings.
You said the most you'd go is 150.
Yeah,
I was trying to push you.
So I haven't pre-ordered it, and I've missed that chance now because it's well and truly sold out. The initial runs,
because you took more than 15 seconds to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, sat in a queue for an hour on Games Workshop website and still didn't get it. But they've said that it will be coming back. It's not a one and done.
Yeah.
But they said that about Curse City, didn't they? Said that wasn't going anywhere, and look how that's gone. But yay, burn. But I've heard a lot of like people talking about it online, and watching a lot of videos and articles about it. A lot of people, it's really kind of torn. I would say torn the community. Some people, I say torn the community, torn the people that are interested.
Yeah.
Obviously people that play 40k and AOS, like I spoke to a friend today about it, and he was like, he used to play it with me when we were younger. He used to have Lizardmen. And I said to him, are you interested in the old world? Bearing in mind Lizardmen are not getting support. And he was like, no, I have no interest. I do AOS. I don't want to do the old world. So I thought, fair enough. But for the people that are interested in the game, I think a lot of people, I'll kind of give you the two sides, Darren, and see what camp you fall in.
Yeah.
So the one camp, which I think I'm probably in, is I think it's too much money for what it is. And now a lot of the argument to that is, well, if you took inflation into consideration, the prices they are now wouldn't be that much different the prices what the prices they've released it at would be about right for
Yeah.
if you took inflation into consideration. And again, the argument to that is yes, that okay, fair enough. Even if they're not really overpriced for what they are,
Yeah.
you are still paying GW current prices for models that are 20 years old. So you're kind of, yeah, okay, it doesn't matter about inflation. These models, some of the Sprues have got like 1993 on them.
Yeah.
You think, what? It's like 21 years old. So, no, what is it? Is it 21 years old? What is it? If it's 1990, is it 21?
No, 31.
31, no, must be wrong. 2003 it must be.
21 then.
Either way, it's, 21 years old.
Yeah.
So people are like, well, if they'd released that, today, yeah, but they're not new models.
No.
They're 20 years old. So
no, but yeah, go on then. Give me second one.
So yeah, that's kind of what a lot of people are saying. They're saying it's too expensive for what it is for all those old models. The other side is saying, well, no, the inflation is, if you took inflation into consideration,
the materials have gone up essentially. So the sculpts are the same, but plastics.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that they're not going to be what they would have been back then. I expect them to be more expensive than, in my opinion, what they're worth. But it just feels like, I can't remember that comment we saw on YouTube that I sent you, but it just seems like, they're just going whale fishing.
Yeah.
Right, let's look for people that used to play this when they were younger, whack the prices up, get what we can out of it.
Thing is, we'd said that we wouldn't mind if they were all plastic.
Yeah, but you've got some resin, I think. You've got plastic, and then you've got metal, which I know for you is a massive put off.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by the price. I am bothered that some of the models are metal, and that's, some people would be, what? I love metal, but I personally I don't like metal models. So that's a.
And again, the price doesn't massively bother me really, but it's more I don't know. Well, for me, the final, I think I said to you, the final nail in the coffin for me is they've kind of reintroduced legacy armies from the old world. So there's, I think, 9 or 10 factions that aren't getting any support. They're getting army lists now, so you can go and print the army list of that faction out, but it's not getting any more ongoing support. So it won't get updates, it won't get new models, it won't get any new lore, it won't get a book explaining their lore, it won't get balances or anything like that. And they're not tournament legal. But that bit, A, is irrelevant to us because we never play in tournaments, and B, it's only GW official tournaments. So you're talking Warhammer World and at like their conventions. So that bit, I'm sure like gaming stores would let you buy them, but play them, sorry. But for me, it's more the fact that Dark Elf, the army that I started Warhammer, my first hobby ever army with, isn't being supported. They're doing Wood Elf and High Elf, but not Dark Elf. And they've done, I think it's 4 good factions and only 3 bad ones. So the kind of, or is it 5 good factions and 4 bad ones? Either way,
more good than bad.
There's one more good than bad. So what if you've done High Elf and Wood Elf in the good? Why not just chuck Dark Elf in the bad? Come on, throw me a bone. Try and lure me in. But then like my friend Dave said, actually, because I was telling him the same thing, and he said, well, you'll probably find the reason they haven't done Dark Elf is because they're probably saving them for AOS. They're probably going to get a range refresh in AOS, which is dangerous.
Which is potentially more exciting.
No, it is, because it's ongoing that will be supported. And also, like, Lizardmen aren't supported, but they've just had a whole range refresh in AOS. So it'd almost be like they've got to do 2 lines of Lizardmen. The old version.
Although they have just done 2 lines of Bretonians, essentially.
Well, yeah, so
I know that.
Cities of Sigmar and Bretonnia, they're similar,
Empire,
but but then Empire again supported. So I don't know. But also as well, which I thought they would do, is they've kind of screwed over the friendly local gaming stores as well. Limited their pre-order numbers, so they're getting less copies. A lot of them are selling out quickly. They're basically, like I thought they would do it, they're almost trying to funnel people into the Games Workshop where you get it for full RRP.
Which is fine as long as the pre-order doesn't sell out really quickly.
And you're not in a queue for over an hour and it's gone in 15 seconds. I don't know what the actual time was, but they were gone quick. But a lot of friendly local game stores have been kind of left in the cold again. So that's almost kind of as I thought it would go.
Sour taste in your mouth.
A little bit. Well, I think like we said even before, I think we said we'd leave it and see how it goes. But after that kind of, I would say, slightly botched kind of release. It's not released yet, but pre-order.
Yeah.
Sorry, and the fact they're not supporting my favourite army. They're not supporting one of your favourites. I know you've got a few in the list that you like Bretonians, Tomb Kings, Wood Elf,
yeah, I mean,
High Elf.
yeah,
Actually, you're fine. Shut up.
Yeah, they've done well
for you. But not for me. I like Bretonians. That's not fair. I do like Bretonians. As I was considering the box, I do like Bretonians. Tomb Kings look cool, but they don't really interest me. Chaos. I like Chaos actually. Chaos are in there. Wood Elf and High Elf again. They're a bit like Tomb King. Yeah, they look cool, but
I love Wood Elf.
They're not my Dark Elf, so I'm like.
But what I would say is, I don't know why, but maybe it's like part of we went to Warhammer Fest, didn't we? Which we've talked about, but they did the reveals, and it was there's a big old world reveal, and like no, it wasn't a big one, but
was it like one model or two models?
Yeah, it was like one model, but I almost feel like I'm not going to take it seriously because they're not taking it seriously.
Yes.
I feel like they're going to drop it in a year, so I'm not bothered.
That's a good point.
If they were bothered about Tomb Kings, I'd be balls deep.
A lot of people have said the same thing. They said it feels like I said, it feels like a cash grab.
Yeah.
They've just re-released what they had.
Yeah.
I know they probably had to get new molds done, or they've had to get the metal models recast and all that. I'm not saying they've done nothing, but what I mean is you've pretty much summed it up. If you felt like they care, they released new books, they released full new model ranges.
This is a new game.
This is a new specialist. Especially, I understand it's special. I understand it's never going to be a main game, but we're only going to release 8 armies or whatever it is. But those 8 armies we are going to focus on. They're going to have full new model ranges, new books, new lore.
Yeah.
You know, really go for it, like you said. Then it'd be like, bloody hell.
Even if it was expensive, I'd be like, okay, this is like
it's like a boutique product.
Yeah. Here's all the details. It's up to you now what you want to do. Whereas it's a bit like, I don't know what all the details are. It's quite expensive, but not too expensive. It's got some old models with a couple of new ones. Some of them are metal, some of them are plastic, some of them are resin. It's like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
you've just pushed it out the door.
Right.
You've just pushed it out the door to grab the whales, basically. Yeah, it's the old world. It's the old Warhammer models that everyone wants back. Yeah.
In a couple of months, it'll be back to 40k, and everyone will be talking about
a couple of months, a couple of weeks. Yeah. Probably next week, to be honest. But so I think that's kind of put to rest. Also,
so we're getting the old world.
Yeah, fine. Got to have a word with Asmodee as well. They've let me down massively. Well, I say Asmodee. So me and my wife last week went to one of our friendly local gaming shops, and they had these Asmodee mystery boxes. I think we saw them when we went in.
Yeah.
And they're guaranteed RRP within the box is £140 of board games. No miniature. I asked him, no wargaming, no tabletop stuff. It's all board games. Right, but I love a board game. So for me,
you don't need any more miniatures.
No, in a way, yeah. 4 decent non-model related board games would be great. Okay, yeah, brilliant. My wife, she loves like a bit of a gamble like that. Oh, what's in there? She's getting all excited. And he was the guy that owns the shop was like, oh, we've opened a few for some stock. We've got Blood Rage out of there, which I love the look of. There's models in that game, but it looks great. Yeah. We've got a Scythe board game, which again, I love that. Love to own that, sorry. So, even I was thinking, not bad. Hang on. Well, maybe we should get one. My wife loves that kind of, what's in there? So, long story short, we dropped 70 quid on a box, got it home, all excited. 4 absolutely dog shit board games. 2 I've never heard of. So it was.
I thought they didn't look too bad.
No,
but
Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle card game, deck building game, which looks it's all right. I like Harry Potter. I've got enough, but it's not really my thing. Marvel Splendor. I don't even know what that is. It sounds like some kind of coffee.
Sweetener.
Yeah, fine. Hang on. Glasgow. Exactly. That's my reaction. Like, what?
Next question.
And do you know what? The other one was so shy, I can't remember what it was. Nope, it's gone. Another game, a board game.
Yeah.
And basically, it was like, right, okay, well, these are all crap. We don't want any of these. Let's go on, Amazon and see what the RRP is. Obviously, I get Asmodee are going to say, well, the RRP is
Yeah.
£140, but realistically, I think we added them all up and how much they were selling for. It's like 80 quid. It's like brilliant. So we can't even really sell them on for anything. So we've just lost them. So I did rib my wife about that a bit. Well, we're £70 in the hole for 4 shit board games. Well, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it was a bit. Don't buy the mystery boxes if you get them. I think even the guy that run the shop was kind of trying to sway us off it, because he was like, well, yeah, basically Asmodee just basically empty their warehouse of games that aren't really selling, that are sticking around. They just chuck them in these mystery boxes. Yeah, get the hint. He's basically saying it's just full of tat that they don't sell. Yeah, we'll buy one.
So that went well.
That went well. But then at the same time, he did set it up a bit. Oh yeah, we got a Blood Rage, we got a Scythe. I was thinking, here we go. Yeah, some decent board games. Glasgow.
Surely is it a mystery box though, or is it the same? Does everyone get the same?
I don't know. I think they're completely missed. There's wave 1 and wave 2.
So the guy packing that box was thinking,
have this, you fuckers.
Instead
of 70 quid down the toilet. Yeah, there was like 6 boxes, and my wife was like, oh, to our little boy, you choose. And he chose the top one. I was like, no, don't go for the top one. Feel how heavy they are.
Oh.
No, this one will do. Oh.
Yeah, but you feel how heavy they are. That's why you got a card game.
I'm getting annoyed now just thinking about it. Trying to think what the 4th game was. That's how good it was. I can't even remember. No, it's gone. Glasgow. I just remember it sticking in my head because it was so awful. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, that was one that I looked at and thought.
Werewolves. Werewolves by Night or something. I've never heard of it. Apparently it's a good game. I see online people say it's quite a good game, but
you're like, I've got 4 quite good games out there.
No, but it was
just open the play.
That one was RRP was 16 quid. The Harry Potter one was like 30 quid. The Glasgow one was like 8 quid. I can't remember the other one. Splendor, that was like 20 something. It was like just below 80 quid for like, oh yeah, guaranteed RRP of 140. Yeah, if you buy them brand new when they released.
From Asmodee.
Let's move on. I'm getting annoyed.
Yeah, so I think I can't think of it apart from you trying out your airbrush.
Yeah, airbrush, Hero Quest, Old World was a disaster for pre-order, and I wasted £70 on 4 dog shit board games. That's been my January so far.
Highlights.
Yeah, and I've got a gammy eye. That's probably the highlight of the month so far. Oh.
Compared to the box.
Yeah, £70 worth of crap board games, or get Bloodshot Eye. Yeah, I'll take the eye.
Fine. Right, so on to the main topic, and I thought that we've done an episode before where we've talked you through our setup, so like what we use, so paints, brushes, lamp, that kind of thing. But I thought what we could do is have a scenario which is I'm starting miniature painting, not what's the best equipment I should use, but how would you go about it? So you're going to start painting Warhammer at the weekend. What do you need?
What am I going to get together before I start painting?
What are the essentials?
Okay, that's quite cool. Again, I feel like we say this every time, but obviously caveat this with the fact that we're not the best painters in the world. We're not super experts. I'm sure there's something we'll miss. But if someone come to me now and said to me, so you're basically saying if someone come to me and said,
I want to start
Dickie,
painting.
I want to start painting. What do I do? Where do I go? What do I use? How do I do it?
Exactly.
So I think you should probably kick it off with, which is something I think some people don't always consider, is their hobby space, where they're going to do it. It's all well and good having all the brushes and paints and models you need, but where are you going to do it?
Yeah, if you're doing it on the kitchen worktop.
Yeah.
Hobby painting, that is.
But you have to lower the tone, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fine.
It's my job.
Yeah, fine. Well, you say about kitchen worktop, but I think, when I started, I was using the kitchen worktop to paint. But I think, we've got permanent areas where we paint, designated
we do,
space with my, the racks, the lamp, everything set up ready to go, so I can come and go as I please. I think initially when you start, that shouldn't be a priority. It's good to have a space. Maybe if you get more into it, just a dining table, somewhere in a corner, you can take yourself away, a dining table or a kitchen counter somewhere.
Yeah.
To paint on. I think initially, again, it's all for me, it's like that testing the water to see if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's all well and good going, you see a Space Marine on Games Workshop website, and I want that. But it's all well and good saying that. But then when you sit down to actually do it, and you've spent hundreds of pounds on a desk and a lamp and a paint set, and you're like, I don't really like this.
It's that analogy of someone that's, I really want to get into golf, and goes out. We've said it before, but goes out and buys a £500 set of golf clubs, and he's dog shit at golf for what? First of all, but also, oh yeah, no, I played it once, didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's what we'd try and avoid by going balls deep, as we say.
I'll say, just a diamond tail, bit of newspaper down, pot of water. You haven't got to go mad. Grow up. What is it about you having...
Should have said bit of newspaper down.
You're like, well, on the table, rather than you want to paint it directly on the table. Just trying to have sex on everything you can, Darren. Hang on, that sounded wrong. So I would say somewhere to just set aside to try, the hobby out. But that's probably what I would start. Then what would you probably move on to? Brushes, maybe? Go to that one?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like hobby essentials, I guess. So I mean, I think it's a really good point in terms of thinking where you're actually going to paint first, because you probably don't normally think of that. But so brushes is a bit of a weird one for me, and I know it can, in terms of opinions of people that do already paint miniatures, it can divide the room. Do you go for a really good brush to start with, or do you get something cheaper just to...
Well, from personal experience, a few months ago, I had a friend who asked me about exactly this, near enough this question. Although he knew what Warhammer was, he had a few bits and bobs, but he was like, I want to start painting my own miniatures. What brushes should I get? What do you use? And I was like, well, I'll stop you there without sounding like an arsehole. I wouldn't buy the brushes that I buy.
Yeah.
Because I buy, brushes that cost like £10 each.
Yeah.
If I was you, I would buy some decent synthetic brushes.
Yeah. To
try it out initially. Doesn't matter if you wreck them. Obviously, look up some details or look up some videos, or I can tell you about brush care, like brush soap and all that. But initially, I would just get some synthetic brushes, decent ones. Don't go to
don't go
the
to
Works and Poundland and buy their shittest brushes you can buy. I mean, buy some nice synthetic brushes that it doesn't really matter if they do, because inevitably, normally most synthetic brushes don't hold their shape forever, hold their tip. So I would, buy some, buy some that cost you a few quid each, decent synthetic, get going. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And then as you do it longer, maybe then look at buying some Sable Kalinsky, not Kalinsky, but Sable hairbrushes, Sable Klink, whatever, and maybe some brush soap, slowly upgrade as you get a
bit more serious. But I think, initially, I think you're right. Just and...
So I think you'd be the other end. I think you'd probably say go a bit higher, wouldn't you?
The thing is, when you're sort of saying, beginners start here, I suppose you have, or I have to remember that this is someone trying the hobby. You don't want someone to invest £100 and not like it.
Yep.
So, yes, if I started again, I would buy Artis Opus or a Winsor & Newton Series 7, but not if I didn't know I enjoyed miniature painting yet.
Yeah.
So
you've got the hindsight to know
exactly. Yeah.
That person wouldn't.
And it's completely situational, subjective. So I wouldn't. For that reason, I wouldn't. If it was a case of I've painted a few miniatures before, but haven't done it for ages, what would you recommend? Yeah, maybe get some decent brushes because at least you like it. But that's kind of my opinion. And I think really our aim is, it's a case of I want to get into it. What's the cheapest way to get into it, but
what's going to get you painting quicker.
Yeah, without overcomplicating it. There are some corners you can cut, and I think we can kind of go on to, I know you've said before, spray paints. So again, that's where you can maybe cut a corner.
Yes, even now, before I got the airbrush, now it will be all done via airbrush. But when I first got, for years, all I've done is rattle cans. But I can't remember the last time I bought a decent, like when I say decent, I mean a hobby
a
specific.
proprietary brand.
There you go. That I just go to like the range in the UK, and they do high coat car matte primer, black or white.
Makes a lot of sense now.
£6.
I've seen your models.
Yeah, £6. You're an arsehole.
Took a little while to
Yeah,
sink in that
something.
one.
Yeah, I'll put it down to the medication for my eye. Yeah, £6, black or white primer, does the job that Games Workshop spray will do, and it's not costing you double the price. So I would say, yeah, just get that. Just get a cheap, not too cheap. Again, don't go to like, you know,
don't get a gloss varnish.
Yeah, or a radiator spray or something.
There you go.
Or don't. I'll tell you what. I'll get you back, you bastard. Or another thing, too. Don't spray your models and then put them on the radiator to dry.
Yeah, don't do that. You're gonna have to buy them again.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, or Halford's, their primer.
Yeah.
I know Midwinter Minis on YouTube. He kind of is a champion for Halford's primer. You don't need to
follow
go
my Halford's affiliate link.
Fine. But that said, I'm going to go, it kind of links into paints as well, which I'm guessing, unless you've got anything you want to say on sprays, really. I think
I think you've covered sprays, really.
I would say that is probably cheaper and not I would say easier, it's cheaper, but this is where Games Workshop are good at what they do. And, you know, I always like to have a bit of a moan about Games Workshop.
I'll snip that first bit out.
No, I nothing really against Games Workshop, and as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about Warcry, but that's for another. That's a story for another time. But
that's for another focus.
Yeah,
podcast.
That's for a next time. We're like, why have we started Warcry? But they're good at what they do, because I would tell anyone, even though I personally have all Vallejo, Scale 75, AK Interactive, anyone starting, I would say go to GW, get their paints, get their Citadel paints. I'd almost, if you've got the money, get their spray. Because although it's double the price of the one I've just suggested, it will do the job perfectly. You can go into any Games Workshop and pick it up, any local game store and pick up a GW spray. That's what I would suggest, probably. Again, I would probably actually, in hindsight, probably say no, just go to like your friendly local game store and pick up Citadel paints and probably Citadel spray, or an equivalent of, say they've got Colour Forge or Army Painter spray is quite good. Basically a miniature spray rattle can, not because it's necessarily better, it's not, and it is more expensive, but it's easily accessible. You know you're going to find it in there. You know
you're not going to get the wrong one.
Yeah, or have I picked up matte or gloss? Oh, this one says it's for car bumpers. Is that the right? You know what I mean? Oh, is it the right thing?
Yeah.
You know, you can go in, to keep it simple and easy, go in, pick up your Citadel paints, which are more expensive, and they do a great job. There's nothing wrong with them.
No.
But you are paying nearly double the price of a Vallejo.
But then you can't get Vallejo.
Yeah, especially where we are. Vallejo's like rocking horse shit. So,
and I would say, starting out painting, we'll come on to models, you know, what models we recommend you choose. But starting out painting, I would recommend going in and seeing the paints. And for that reason, for us, Vallejo wouldn't be an option.
No.
Just because there's barely any way you can go and see them. You have to buy them online. And I just, naturally, I wouldn't want to be buying them online.
No. There's only one shop locally to us that sells Vallejo, and they're open. They've got really weird opening hours. And some days they're open, sometimes they're not, and it's a bit... But yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. I think that you can just go in, physically see, what red do I want? Dark red, light red, blood, you know, all the different reds that the GW do.
Also, what I would say is, if you go for Vallejo Scale 75 AK, you need a wet palette.
Yeah, drop bottles,
which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the advantage of Citadel is you can use them straight out of the pot.
Well, what about that next? Wet palette. What would you suggest that to a newbie?
You could do a homemade one.
Yeah. So like a Tupperware box, a bit of kitchen roll, wet it, and then put a bit of like parchment paper on top, like baking paper.
Yeah.
The white one.
That's everyone's got Tupperware.
Yeah. Kitchen roll.
Everyone's got kitchen roll.
If they haven't got it, it's not hard to get.
Yeah, and you can go and get a bit of baking paper.
Yeah.
So I think that's, in terms of accessibility. That said, most hobby shops will probably have some sort of wet palette, although Games Workshop won't.
No.
But yeah, I mean...
But then if you're doing Citadel, you don't necessarily need to... Initially, Don't get me wrong, I would still say thin your
Yeah.
paints on a plate or something. But if you don't want to, if you just want to try it, you don't.
Yeah.
Again, you've got to also think as well, contrast paints from GW.
Yeah.
You could say buy contrast paints to make your life really easy. You know, it's not the same as using acrylic paints, but it will give you a good effect. It will
definitely give you that feeling of painting a model.
Yeah, and the satisfaction of seeing it done quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, without going into sort of, details of slap job and things like that, contrast paint will still look decent.
Yeah, so I think definitely, I would point them in the direction of GW or a friendly local gaming store, blah, 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 that has GW paints and sprays or an equivalent. So wet palette, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend initially.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's necessary if you're getting GW
If you're just
paints.
starting.
And maybe even, I would say, I know you'd said that, a plate or whatever, but you can get those super simple artist's palette.
Yes, yeah,
just
yeah,
get
yeah.
one of those and just bit of water, take it out of the pot.
Yeah.
50-50, fine.
But it depends how beginning you want them to be.
Yeah.
If they literally just want to try
straight on,
you can put them straight on, yeah. GW do also do those little like starter painter kits, don't they, with like a couple of models and little pots of not all the colours you need, but if you just want to dip your toe and try it, then that's again.
If you want to try mixing every available colour with primary colours,
fine.
You can.
Yeah, again, that's what GW do well. Their marketing and their they are aimed at the person who starter. Here's everything you need. Just go and paint the models.
Yeah.
The prices,
make it easy.
Outrageous, but they do make it easy. So I'll give them that. A lamp. What about that? See, I would say not go mad, but I'd get a decent light that gives you daylight.
And I probably would. You can go and get one from a hobby shop, but I probably would get it online, Amazon or.
Yeah, well, my first one was from Hobbycraft.
Yeah,
in the UK.
Yeah, I got the same one.
And
you recommended it.
And it was a daylight lamp, so it gave you the right light for painting. But then my lamp I use now, which is a swivel arm. Yeah. It's got different levels of brightness, daylight, different light modes. It's £20 on Amazon, and you've used it. You said,
this is really nice.
This is a nice lamp. It does the job. So I wouldn't. That one I say you wouldn't really need to skim, because if it was anyone, I'd say if someone said to me, "I want a lamp for painting," I would say, right, well, here's the link I use on Amazon. Go and buy that one. That's one I use, and it's fine. So I don't think there's really. You can get super duper like Redgrass Games do really expensive, like £250.
There's some really nice stuff. But if you're starting out,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily even need it. It depends what lighting you've got in your house. You know, if you've got a decent lighting,
or when you're painting, if you're like me and you paint a lot during the day and you're right by a window with lots of natural light, do you even need it? Obviously, weather conditions.
Yeah, and a lamp will help.
Yeah,
but it's whether you,
in the middle of the summer, the bright sunny day, and you're right by a window, you wouldn't even need to turn your lamp on.
No.
But let's assume you're in England where it's grey 90% of the time and dark. So yeah, a decent lamp. But I would go on Amazon and get something on there. I think you need a good one. You need one that gives you the good light, and good positioning, so you can get it over your model. You don't want it
getting in the way you're hitting your head on it every time you go and paint.
Things like snips, files. I would actually, I would say, because you can get those nice ones on Amazon, the kind of flexible files, can't you? I can't remember what they're called. They've got a proper name, but the ones I haven't actually got any of them yet, but I do want to get some. But files, snips, things like that, I wouldn't buy from GW, because you can buy exactly the same product from any hobby shops, like Hobbycraft, any art and craft shop, for literally half the price, and they'll be just as good. Games Workshop's like markup on tools is awful.
Certainly to begin with, if you want to go and buy a 15 quid pair of snips, you can, but not.
Yeah, it's not initially.
Just buy a pair of nail clippers if you're that desperate.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, does it? You just getting
something to get off the sprue.
The models off the sprue.
And a sharp knife as well. A hobby knife is good, but again, don't go to GW and buy their knives.
Just get a scalpel.
Get a cheap scalpel from the Range, Hobbycraft, anywhere like that in the UK. They do cheap,
£2-3.
Yeah, I bought some new blades for my scalpel from Hobbycraft, £1. I got 10 of them. Yeah, they don't last very long, but it's £1, so I'll just go and get 10 more when they run out for £1. It's things like that you don't need to go mad on. I don't think there's really much to say. Don't buy Games Workshop. Buy from your local hobby shop, I think, for that one.
Certainly to begin with. Again, we've
Yeah.
said there are certain things we would buy from there, but
Yeah.
there are definitely certain things I wouldn't buy from there. We don't need to buy from there.
Yeah.
Again, obviously you can go into Games Workshop and they'll sort you out.
Yeah,
If
but
you want to paint your first model, they'll give you everything you need.
yeah,
But prepare your bank balance
yeah.
and your mental strength.
Yeah, like you say all that, but again, my friend who asked me about painting, he was going to buy all the Games Workshop white brushes. I was like, don't buy them; they're crap. They're not. They're synthetic brushes, but for what you're paying, there's an art shop literally about 10 shops down from where the Games Workshop is near us. I said, just go in there. I kind of drag him in. I said, buy those synthetic brushes there. It's like £7 for like 8 brushes. No, it wasn't that many. £7 for like 4 or 5 brushes.
Yeah.
He's still using them now. He's painted a Stormcast armor with them. I did say to him now, maybe his painting is getting better. I looked at one of his models today, and yeah, he has definitely improved.
Nice.
So I did say maybe you should start thinking about upping your. I'd say
brush game.
Yeah, get some better brushes maybe. Oh, okay. And I kind of told him how much they were, and he, that's a lot. I was like, okay, don't. I'm not gonna. They are a lot of money. It depends how serious you are about it. But speaking of models, again, hate to shield for Games Workshop, but I would probably, although they're expensive, it's one of those things. They are probably some of the best models in the world.
Yeah, I would say, I almost want to say they're, I don't know, this is a really odd thing to say, but they're slightly easier to paint because they're so detailed.
Wait, what?
What I mean by that is sometimes if you buy, or if you've got a 3D printer, for example, or I doubt you have, because that's...
if you're just starting.
Yeah.
How do I paint? I've got this, £250 3D printer.
But you might have a 3D printer for something else. But what I mean is if you get a shit model, it hasn't got a lot of detail on it. So when you're painting, you're almost having to like put detail on a model that hasn't got detail on it. Whereas if you've got a Games Workshop model, it's pretty obvious that's leather. Well, normally it's pretty obvious that's leather, that's metal, that's skin.
But then I suppose not argument, but my point to that would be, if they're coming to you to ask how to paint miniatures, they've probably already got miniatures in mind.
Yeah.
So they probably already thought, I want a Space Marine army. How do I paint Space Marines? What do I need to paint Space Marines? Or I don't know, found this game by Mantic and I love the models.
Yeah.
What do I need to paint them? Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like, I don't even know if you need to steer them in the right way for models.
No, although I would say there are a couple of things I would recommend if they didn't have a clear idea.
Yeah, if they were just like, I want to paint models but I don't know where to start or what models to paint, what models would you paint, what models would you suggest? What would you suggest, Aaron?
I think personally, me,
you,
no, I think Warhammer Underworlds is brilliant for starting out, because depending on what warbands you pick, but some of the warbands, so like Hexbane's Hunters, that's a brilliant warband for someone that's just started painting, because all the models are completely different. Loads of different textures, loads of different colours. They've got sculpted bases, so you don't need to worry about basing them.
That's a good point. Basing materials. Where would you go on that one?
Probably just,
again, GW. They do it's expensive, but they do tubs of grit, sand, tubs of, they do tufts. It's that kind of, that's what, again, going back to it, but that's what Games Workshop do well. Yes, there's better out there and cheaper out there,
but they make it easy.
For you. It's in every gaming shop. It's like I said in the past, Citadel paints, the brilliant thing of them is you can go into any gaming store and they will have Citadel paints. Oh, I need a blood red. It's not even called blood red anymore. What's it called now?
Blood Angels Red?
Blood Angel, I don't know.
No, that's contrast.
It's a contrast.
Yeah.
Mephiston
Red.
Mephiston Red. Now I want to go and get Mephiston Red. That any gaming shop will have Mephiston Red in there because it's Games Workshop. So that's almost the same thing for the basing materials. You can go in there and they'll have the tubs of snow or sand or it's more expensive. It's that kind of ease to get into it so they can try it. And then if they're like, oh, I love this, right, well, maybe don't buy those basing materials from Games Workshop anymore. Here's a website that you could buy better things cheaper.
Yeah,
but initially,
I think that's almost like part of the enjoyment of the hobby, with any hobby, is, going down that rabbit hole of, okay, now I've got the basics down. you haven't necessarily wasted money if you're then going to be like, right, now I need to rebuy all my equipment better. But that's sort of the enjoyment of it. That's certainly what I've enjoyed over the last couple of years.
Like when you bought your new brushes, it was like, here you are. You were like, it's like a epiphany. You were like, oh my God, this is...
Yeah, because you get that progression of, now I've got better brushes. You can go too far and you can chase that progression to the point where you're only ever happy if you're getting a new lamp or a new brushes or a new paint.
Which I did have to stop a bit because I was getting a bit like that with paints.
Yeah.
Right, I bought like 70 Vallejo paints. Now I've got about 40 scale 75. What other brands can I get? Let's start going down the AK into it. Yeah, Pro Acryl. So I get that. I'm like that with paints. I've got more paints than I'll ever probably need, but I still haven't got enough. I want more, which is stupid. But so yeah, I do. But circling back to the models, again, I know I said it already, but Games Workshop do a lot of easy to build models, don't they? So you don't even need glue.
Yeah, push fit stuff.
Just push them together, and then you can just try.
One thing I would say though, is glue, and I would say is worth getting the Tamiya.
Yes, I was going to say, that is one I would probably say, this is the website or this is the shop that do it. Go and get it, the Tamiya thin cement, because Games Workshop plastic glue is okay, but I find it messy and harder to use. And the thin cement, you're going to get a bit high you get a bit high in a closed room with the Tamiya cement, get a bit of a headache. But yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's kind of what I would.
I think if you imagine waking up on a Saturday morning and you got to go and get everything you need.
Well, if you say, better example, I came to you on a Saturday morning, went, Darren, I've lost my memory, I've got amnesia. How do I paint? What do I need?
I'd say, no, you don't need to do Warhammer.
Don't do that.
I know.
Get out while you still can.
Let me forget everything I know. And we'll do something else.
Yeah, fine. Hang on.
It'd be a much simpler life.
It really would for you as well.
Here's a PlayStation.
Hang on. What's a PlayStation? I bought. I keep looking at Baldur's Gate. Oh, I keep looking but it's that thing like I want to do Baldur's Gate, but then I want to learn to use this airbrush. It's like not too many hobbies, not enough time.
Yeah, that's one thing. Again, just touching on the airbrush, bit of a no-brainer, but I wouldn't recommend an airbrush.
No, don't buy. No, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I've been doing it since I was 14.
You've got to wait 25 years, and then you can get on and try out.
Well, it's something that I've never really needed, and I think I said to you last week. Was it the week before? I was like tempted for an airbrush, and you nearly shit yourself on the phone. You were like, "Fucking hell, why have you not done that?"
Yeah,
that is like a game changer. Yeah. So here we are.
As we say. Give you a little bit of an anecdote, but we played Dark Souls, if anybody knows it, Soulsborne game.
Everyone knows Dark Souls.
Yeah, most people know Dark Souls from Software. And I'd been through the game with a mate, and I'd played like a magic user, and for some reason I had in my head, I can't remember if they said it or I just had it in my head, that bows were awful. Like, don't bother with bows.
Waste of time. So then you showed me the game.
Yeah.
Oh, Dickie, try Dark Souls. Yeah, I picked up a bow, Darren. Yeah, don't use them. They're shit. Oh, okay, I won't equip it then. And I can't remember how, but one of us, you were like, what the fuck?
Bows are like essential.
Yeah, you can pull enemies over.
Yeah, you can kite enemies. You can pull them over. You can kill them without even getting anywhere near them. Yeah. So whenever anything is sort of like, it's a massive oversight, like for example,
or a game changer,
you're not getting a game changer. You're not getting an airbrush. It's a bit like that's a bit of a bows of shit in Dark Souls moment.
I'm sure we've told that story before, but you can hear it. You can hear it again because it's very apt for that. But
I think you're already feeling like
shit. This is I wish I'd got one a couple of years ago. So by now I'd be
It's one of those. I know you said, didn't really feel like I needed it, but it's the that classic marketing angle, which is it's the tool you didn't know you needed
until you got it. Yeah, no, it is. Now, like I said, buying battle cans and priming is a thing of the past now.
Yeah, well,
not a thing of the past, but you know what I mean. I don't need to buy rattle cans anymore.
No. But I have heard people say that they do still prime their models, even though they. I remember, I think it was George on Paint Perspective. Said that when he started priming his models with an airbrush, that was it then. But then, yeah, I don't know. He went back to railcans and thought,
Well,
for certain projects,
my own,
actually,
my only concern with the airbrush obviously is it's not a lot of setup, but compared to grabbing a rattle can, giving it a shake and putting them on a bit of wood and spraying them, you've got to set the airbrush up, put the paint in, thin it, make sure the airbrush is set to the right pressure, line them up right. You know what I mean? It's a bit more.
I suppose if you're just priming them, it's a lot. Whereas if you're priming them with the intention of then going over with another colour and a zenithal and then getting something else out.
I think it all depends on the model, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're painting one big model, then why wouldn't you use the airbrush?
And are you going to get a primer? As in an airbrush?
No.
You know, like the Vallejo or AK, like they do like a grey
I just use black.
What, out just a normal part?
I think they just do that because it's just, I don't know, I don't really know what the difference is. Maybe
it's thinned down.
Hang on, that's something I'll look into. See, this is how much experience I've got with an airbrush. I don't even know if that's any. I'll have to look into it.
I was just watching a YouTube video the other day, and he was saying about the primer. It does use the primer. But
maybe I'll
go.
See, these are all things you do if you get into it. You know.
Yeah. So I think just sort of getting back on topic.
A bit of a tangent there.
Yeah, I think anything else, things like you've kind of mentioned it, but like tufts, goggles, sexy gogs.
I wouldn't worry about sexy gogs initially.
No, a cutting mat's handy.
Yeah, and you can get them from anywhere. I wouldn't, again, Games Workshop, I don't think they do them anymore. They used to, but
I'd say like everything we've mentioned is what you need. Tell you what is good, a cheap set of makeup brushes.
Yes, which I still use
for dry brushing.
Yeah, Home Bargains and
£2.50 or something like that for a set of 3 or 4.
And if you can clean them out, but if you can't be bothered, you can chuck them in the bin and go and buy some more. It's not really it's because it's so cheap. You can just get rid of more, buy more.
Yeah, and dry brushing for a beginner is a very
quick and easy method.
Quite a quick way to make your models look decent.
If you do it well. But again, that's a skill learned.
Yeah, just watch Byron for about 12 hours and you'll be good.
Watch Byron for 12 hours, then have a go and still realise how shit you are compared to Byron.
Basically.
Yeah, fine. But I think that kind of sums it up, really. I think that's everything we kind of recommend for a beginner. Yeah, basically, the path of least resistance is probably the footnote, really. Yeah,
I think some of the GW just for sort of necessity, just kind of easiness, and a few other bits. I think the great thing about the hobby is there is loads of progression in it. So that's the essential things that you need, but you can get racks for your paints, and you can go balls deep, as we say. Yeah. But that's what you need. So
get on it.
Yeah. if you're not already.
Yeah. Okay then. So the last section of our absolutely awful podcast is Paint Grey eBay. So we thought this week we would go for, as fitting, as it's all the buzz at the moment, is 3 of the new Old World units for Bretonian and Tomb Kings. Obviously, there's not too much choice because there's not too many new models.
Yeah.
And we've done the crocodile, dragon, monstrosity before, so that can be forgotten about.
That's already on eBay.
Yeah, I don't talk about that one. So I'll let you go first, Darren. I'll go through what they are.
Okay.
You've got the Bretonian Lord, the new sculpt on a Pegasus.
Okay.
You've got the Tomb King. He is called Tomb King. Just the Tomb King.
Why not?
Why not? No name,
Makes sense, really.
No like Tomb Lord or he is Tomb King.
He's the Tomb King.
He is the Tomb King. And you've got the Foot Knights, so the Bretonian Knights on foot. I won't say anything. I'll let you go first.
This is going to be a tough one. Your torch is on as well.
Oh yeah, a little bit of a treat for you. I don't know why that's on.
Treat for you.
Little treat. There you go. Turn the torch off.
Oh dear. Oh, that is. So Pegasus Knight. Is that what he's called?
Pegasus Lord, I think. He's a Lord on Pegasus.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not?
He looks absolutely stunning.
I'm not saying anything. I'll let you do your Paint Grey eBay and then I will.
God, that is such a nice model. Okay.
I think he comes in 2 versions, one for the Lord and one for like a
What's on
Standard
foot?
bearer. You know, but I think he's got no helmet.
God, this is gonna be really hard.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it. I'm an arsehole, aren't I?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that Tomb King's also very sexy. Jeez. Why aren't we doing the old world? These all look absolutely stunning.
These are all the new sculpts.
Yeah.
These are the ones in my mind that are worth the money.
Okay. Oof.
So I'm gonna push you then. So
Yeah.
let's start from the bottom. What's going on eBay?
Awful, but well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. But it's gonna have to be the foot soldiers. And they look absolutely stunning. So I'm really angry that they're going on eBay.
It's a begrudging sale.
Yeah. But I just love how different they are. Yeah, and the details on them. Stunning. Although what I would say is my main reason for putting them on eBay is it sounds awful, but there's so much detail
It puts
that,
you
that
off.
would take me like a year
Oh, yeah.
to paint.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of, it's a good thing and a bad thing. But yeah, that's eBay. I'm
Okay.
afraid. Controversial.
Controversial. This is one that I'm interested in because I know you have got a bit of a soft spot for the Tomb Kings.
Yeah, okay. So, God, that's such a cool model. This is tough.
Bearing in mind, you're keeping both of these models. It's just which one are you painting?
Models, which one am I painting straight away? Okay.
I think I know which one you paint straight away.
God, this is hard. I am gonna paint the Tomb King.
Yeah, because it's Tomb Kings. It's a single model on foot, so it's probably already feels more achievable for you.
Yeah. I love it. Really nice. I absolutely love that Pegasus Lord. It helps that it's been painted incredibly well by Games Workshop. But yeah, no, for me it is paint the Tomb King. I'd leave grey the Pegasus Lord and eBay
footnotes. Okay, well, I've already conjured up my complaints, so I can go straight in.
Complaints. Let me tell you why Darren's wrong.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
You are.
Okay.
No, you're. Well, I would paint the Pegasus Knight.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love Bretonia anyway, and like you said, pretty much reiterating what you've just said.
Yeah.
Stunning model, painted lovely. It reminds me of Leon Leuencourt, which is the Bretonians' king. He was on a hippogriff, but he had the same kind of pose, wings out on a rock, rearing up. The hippogriff was. Love that character. He's not been brought back because I think this is set before he's even king. I think.
Right. Okay.
But yeah. So he'd be my paint. Now this is the controversial bit. My leave grey would be the Tomb King.
Interesting.
I'd keep him because again, I'm not as bothered about Tomb Kings. They're cool, but it is a nice model for what it is. It's very detailed, but it's Games Workshop. It'd be weird if it wasn't. Now these foot knights are going in straight in the eBay, if not the bin.
Okay.
Not because of the detail.
Right.
They are detailed, but I don't know if anyone else is going to agree with me, but the old school nerd in me, the lore of Bretonia, which I don't know if they've retconned the lore in the new book, but the original lore of Bretonia is no knight ever fights on foot.
Right. Okay.
He doesn't fight on foot. The only time he ever fights on foot is if his horse dies. And even then, he will try and get another horse before he gets on foot. Okay. So lore-wise, this doesn't exist.
No.
Not when I say the original lore, I know that years back, the very early editions, I think they did fight on foot. But kind of the established lore for a long time was that knights only ever fight on foot. Yeah. On horseback, sorry. Yeah. It was like the peasants and the militia.
Yeah, like the men-at-arms.
Men-at-arms, the bow, the archers. They would fight on
they'd be on the ground. Yeah,
even the yeomen would fight on horses. So the lore nerd in me is like, no, this is wrong. No matter how cool it looks, this isn't Warhammer because they don't fight on foot.
Out of pure interest, lore aside, would that be in the eBay? Yeah,
probably. Just because, again, like you said, they are overly detailed. And what is this bell end about? What's that on his head? Why has he got a Christmas tree topper on his head? It's like an angel from the top of a tree.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's a weird angel. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I know that's meant to be the Lady of the Lake, I'm guessing, but yeah, no, it bugs me too much. I'm sure they've probably written it into the law now that there's a reason, but my instant it's like, what? No, they don't fight on foot. They always fight on horseback. Why are they on foot? So no. eBay the Foot Knights, leave Grey the Tomb King, paint the Pegasus Night Lord, Lord Light, Night Lord. There we go.
There we go.
Easier for me, but I had time to process it while you were looking. There we go, guys.
I think time to sort of gear up your rant for the foot soldiers, fucking foot knights.
Foot Knights on foot. Fucking stupid idea. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. Really,
that's it for this week. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching and
listening.
Or listening.
Whatever you choose to do.
Yeah, you can.
You know the usual. Follow us on Instagram and check out all the posts. Although at the moment it's a bit. It's not
We'll have some more exciting stuff coming up.
There's a bit of a what's it called, painter's block at the moment. But
well, they've got your people enjoyed the Star Wars stuff.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
first. Yeah. That looks so cool though.
Yeah, even my wife. I showed my wife, and she was like, "Wow, the pictures." And she doesn't really care about Star Wars, and B, she tolerates the hobby at best. So even she was like, "Wow, the pictures look stunning." Yeah. So that's a compliment. If she likes them, then you know you're doing something right. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Hey.